My Hero Academia.
Okay, so hello and welcome to the My Hero Academia podcast. This is episode 101. This week we are going to be going through our top 5 friendships. So the podcast today is me, Sophie, and Kendra.
It's me, Kendra!
And James.
Hello.
Disappointingly boring intro, thanks.
Hi, everybody.
Whoa.
How's Dr. Nick?
Gary, you just spoiled it. People didn't know you were here. And Gary.
Hi. I got thrown off, sorry.
And I do have a tiny bit of news that the chapters 100 to 147 are free in Shonen Jump now. Since if you're not able to leave your house as often, now you have some free manga to check out. If you are somehow not subscribed to Shonen Jump, subscribe to Shonen Jump.
I really like that they've done that because, like, now, even though the subscription is like a small amount, when money is pressed in these hard times, like the small amounts add up.
True. So I think and apparently they're changing it every Friday, so it might be a different series. So read now while you can.
Yep, it's a nice gesture. Is there any other news?
Don't think so.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think that's it.
So this week we'll be doing a little round robin where we go through our top 5 friendships. And as a disclaimer, so there are a few categories of friendships that have to be omitted. Omitted. So no work friendship. So for example, Fat Gum's friendship with all his students, as lovely as it is, it's a work friendship and there's like a power dynamic there. So that's out of the question. No romances. So even though the friendship between La Brava and Gentle Criminal is wonderful, it's a romance, that's out. And the third one is no familial relations. So as much as you might like Izuku and his mum, or like Shoto and his wonderful sister Fumi, it's a familial relationship, it's out of the friendship category. So are we all okay with that?
Yes.
Brilliant. So let's start with number 5. And my number 5 friendship is, it's a little threesome. It's Magne, Toga, and Twice. We didn't see much of them all together, but after, also, spoiler warning, after Magne was killed off, I liked when Magne was still mentioned, Toga and Twice stick up for her and they said, Magne's a she, don't make that mistake again. It was cute. She'd passed, they didn't need to stick up for her like that, but they still did. Her death really rocked them. I liked it.
And they that's the reason they betrayed Overhaul, because they were still mad about it. Overhaul didn't care when his goon got killed, but they were no, you killed one of us. We're not friends.
Yeah, it was a good starting point for showing something more than just the evil side of the League of Villains. Okay, so Kendra, you're number 5.
Mine is kind of similar. It's Twice and Jiran, because I think his worry when Jiran got hurt and just getting really angry about it, I think was really cool, and it kind of shows him being a bit more connected than the rest of the League, even more than Toga. And I would even say maybe Twice and the League in general, just because he cares a lot more about them than they care about him, with maybe the exception of Toga.
Yeah. I think that's true. I thought about them, and then I thought, is that a work-based friendship because Jiran is the broker for them? But I don't think it is. It's not a proper work-based, so it definitely counts.
It might be maybe from Jiran's perspective, that maybe because he just kind of found Twice, but I think for Twice, Jiran is kind of a savior. He's just you helped me out of here, and now you gave me a chance to do stuff. So maybe that is a bit of unevenly, but I think it's a good, I don't know, it's a nice friendship.
Yeah. Cool. And James, you're number 5.
All right, mine's a little basic, but Todoroki and Deku's friendship.
Yay.
So I picked because at first, they weren't enemies or anything like that at first, but Todoroki kind of had like a one-track mind at the beginning of the series, and I like how Deku just kind of opened him up to kind of be his, like, carve his own path, I guess you could say.
Forgive the pun. Forgive the pun. He thought him out.
Yeah, he thought him out basically. But yeah, I think like they've progressed more after the sports festival, and that's kind of nice.
And also that like Deku texted and like Todoroki was the one who answered when he gave his location. He's like, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
I feel like that friendship is very good for Todoroki's character development more than like Izuku's character development. Because even though Izuku didn't have friends before, he's got multiple friends now. Whereas Todoroki doesn't seem to have a huge amount of people that he considers close to him. So it really propels his character forwards.
Yeah.
Oh, and Gary.
My number 5 is Momo and Tenya Ida.
Oh,
Yeah.
good
like
choice.
Yeah. The reason it's lower, though, is because we haven't seen a ton of interaction between them, but we see that mutual respect between them as being really studious and the class representative and the vice class representative. And I like when they appreciate each other's ideas. And like in the filler episode where Momo thinks back to how Ida would act or how Uzuku would act, there's just like those little glimpses of them hitting it off, and I love to see it.
And like I like it because like they're the two rich kids, and like they could easily kind of rest on their laurels, but they don't. And they're both, I don't know, I think they feed well off of each other, of like trying their best and like caring about other people. And I think maybe they help each other loosen up a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sophie.
All good number 5 choices. So on to number 4. My 4th choice is Inasa and Todoroki. I love them. No?
Have they? Oh wait, okay. Inasa. Sorry, I was thinking of Weldy. Inasa's wind guy. Okay, I like it.
Because they started off as like rivals. They really didn't like each other, and now Inasa just really wants to be his friend. And there's no evidence that Shoto. I don't think he doesn't want to be his friend, but he's not very good at socially interacting, and sometimes Inasa's too much. So he's like, no. Cold and hot sober are very different. You can't force it, and it just really makes me laugh. And I like seeing the two of them together. They're so different.
And it's also like a good further development of Todoroki. Like he became friends with Deku, but Deku's pretty like mellow, or maybe not always, but like I think Inasa really like kind of reminded him of his dad a little. Like they both like reminded each other of Shoto's dad. So I think it's like I like their dynamic. I hope we get to see them again. Him again.
Kendra, who's your number 4?
Oh, my number 4 is Deku and Aoyama. Just because their friendship is so weird, but it also it like allows Aoyama to get the chance to twinkle. So, and I like that it kind of got a little mini arc of its own, and I think it'll open maybe more possibilities for Aoyama later. And I like it. I don't know. I think it's cute.
I don't have any Aoyama on my list.
Wow. Sacre bleu! I thought for sure I was stepping on your friendship toes.
That's such a good one, because before that, Aoyama like didn't really have any friends. Like he'd have lunch on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, like, when Deku came back from fighting Gentle, it was Aoyama who was waiting for him, who had, like, the shirt for him to change
It had
into.
a shirt. It was cute.
So that's, like, very, very cute.
Yeah. Cool. James.
All right. So I know some people ship these two, but I don't see it this way. But Mina and Kirishima.
Ooh.
I know there's some shippers out there, but I see more of their relationship as like a mutual respect kind of thing. Because at first we knew that they went to like the same middle school, and like Kaminari wanted to try to stop those two bullies and stuff like that, but he kind of froze up. And later on, we know that they kind of take from each other because if I recall, Mina has that move, Acid Man, that she kind of tells him that it was kind of imitating Unbreakable. So I think it's kind of cool that they like inspire each other, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they have a good friendship.
Mm-hmm. I guess I just wish they interacted more, because I feel like they only really interacted after like we were told like, oh, they go to the same school. Like when before that they didn't really talk to each other that much.
Yeah, that's one thing too. There's hardly any interaction, but I like whenever they do interact.
Mm-hmm.
People always put Mina in like Bakugo's group, and we don't really see her interacting with any of them other than Kaminari.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe they just really want to have a girl in there, and she does fit that boisterous enemy of Kirishima and Kaminari.
I mean,
don't
they
know.
were on the same team during the Cowboy.
Oh yeah.
I think that's about all they base it on, though. Honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's like the only thing I can come up with that they would base that off of.
And I guess she has like a personality that might meld well with Bakugo.
Yeah.
Gary, who's your number 4?
This might be a surprising one, but Mina and Kirishima.
What a surprise!
Wow. Yeah, but pretty much for the same reasons. I like that they have similar personalities, but also different. And I like that it showed Mina in like kind of a brave light, and Kirishima looking up to that. That's like my favorite thing about it. Again, they're lower on the list because they haven't had much development in together, but I think it's cute. They're cool.
Like, James touched on it, but I really like them like inspiring each other. I think that's like good in a friendship, though. You're like pushing the other person to go further.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like the idea of like, ooh, I want to be like you, that kind of thing. Especially where Mina defended that kid and started breakdancing with the bullies. That's like the highlight for me. That was so good.
Yeah.
During the forest training arc, there was the people that failed the exams and they had to redo it. Was that Kirishima, Kaminari, Mina, and Minette and Sero? Was he there? No. Who else was
Yeah,
there?
Thuro was there. He failed. Mineta didn't
Yeah.
fail.
No, Mineta made it through because he saved Sero.
Right.
Mina and Kaminari were there because they both failed against Nezu. Was
Right.
Kirishima there?
I think
Yes.
Sato.
Yeah.
Kirishima was, because he was sad that he wasn't there to help his friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he was teamed with Sato against Cementos,
Yes.
and they lost there.
Yes.
And who was Mina with?
Kaminari, and they were against Nezu.
Oh, right. You just
Yeah.
said that.
That's right. Yeah, and they all failed there, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
But we
Yeah.
didn't see much of their interaction other than them both being sleepy.
But are we ready for number 3?
Yes. So my number 3 is a group friendship, and I put all of the wild pussycats together. And I don't, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I'm allowed to, because it's like a work friendship team up. But then they're all on the same level. I don't think there's any of them that's like a boss. I don't know.
And they also all chose to be together. It's not like a coincidence that they're all working at the same office. It's that they all chose to be together to form a team and still stay together even after one of them lost their quirk.
Yeah.
I would allow it too.
Yeah. I don't really have a huge amount to say on them other than that, like, we know when they've talked about teamwork before and people like teaming up, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're just teams like made at the moment, or they're done for like maybe not merchandising reasons, but like promotion reasons. But the Wild Pussycats seem to be more of like a family unit friendship, and they all know a lot about each other, and they genuinely really care, and I really like that. I think that's what you want in like an adult friendship.
And I like how I think after Mandalay got injured, I think it was Tiger who was like, how dare you injure like a young woman's face. I kind of like they kind of have like a funny dynamic with each other as well. as well as like caring about each other. I don't know.
Yeah, they're very cute, and they all agree to take in Coda, even though they're not all related to him. And I guess you have to really care about someone to want their small child around you and have to change your schedule according to that.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I feel like they don't need the most discussion. So, Kendra, who's your
Yay.
number 3?
Number 3 is Bakugo and Kirishima, just because I think you can definitely see this from a shipping perspective, but I'm definitely going more for the friendship angle, because I think, like, Kirishima really helps bring out, like, the best in Bakugo and kind of, like, helps him to be less of an asshole. And then on the other hand, I think Bakugo helps Kirishima, instead of Kirishima just being, like, the friendly guy, maybe he being okay with kind of playing the backseat, just cheering for everybody. Instead, he, like, kind of like, oh, like, I realize that these are my faults, and, like, everyone else is doing this, so I want to do that too, and kind of, like, challenging himself. So I think they both bring out, like, a lot in each other, and, like, I feel like Kirishima was Bakugo's, like, first friend who wasn't, like, using him. Like the sidekicks he had in middle school were all people who was, like, afraid of him or were just, like, riding his coattails. So I think it's nice to have, like, a kind of genuine friendship. And I like showing Bakugo, this is what friendship is like. When you and Deku were not friends. So this is what friendship is.
Yeah, and when we see like Kirishima have one of the few times where we see him on a downer and he's talking about how how can his quirk compare to other people's because he doesn't have the range and things. Like Sero's being a little bit of a douche, isn't he? He's like, oh, you're more of a downer than I thought, and Kaminari's just talking about how he doesn't want to charge people's phones, but Bakugo's actually giving him like good advice and caring about him. I'm sure that this friendship's going to be on more people's lists, and I'm waiting to tick it off to see where they put it.
I would just say my only complaint is when people like make it more shippy, it feels like they're making it that like that's the only important thing about Kirishima. That like he's Bakugo's like boyfriend. I'm like, no, he's his own character too. So like I don't know. Sometimes it makes me mad.
Cool.
It's like it's a bromance. They're bros.
Yeah.
James, who's your number 3?
I picked Momo and Todoroki.
Ooh.
Mostly, I know their interactions have been very minimal, but they're generally friendly towards each other. And I mean, they both kind of like got in the same way as like they both got in through recommendations and stuff like that. And like, what am I trying to say here? I know that the last ones I picked, they were like inspired each other, but I guess Momo kind of got inspired by, not inspired, but I guess what's the word I'm looking for?
He helped her confidence, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to come. Yeah, that's one thing.
Encouraged?
Yeah, I guess encourage would probably be the word I'm trying to think. But I feel,
Didn't Todoroki vote for her to be class rep as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, like I really liked their fight against Eraserhead. I think that was really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I made them closer and like they kind of figured out their own problems in a way during that fight. So I feel like that way, I mean, they kind of support each other, I guess I could say. But I think they'd make good friends. Even though we don't get too much of them.
It's the two rich kids.
It's the two rich kids.
There's a lot of rich kids in this here. But yeah. I think it's good.
Yeah, and after that, the exam with Eraserhead, they do reference each other a few times and like, oh, I see what she's doing here. Like with the Class A versus Class B, they kind of like both give notes on their actions. There's some. Yeah, I like it. My number 3, if we're ready to move on, is Twice and Jiran. Which we already talked about again, but I like them. And that, like, when Jiren was in Mortal Peril, like, Twice was just really, it was beyond, like, hey, this is a guy on my team. It was somebody that he genuinely had a connection with. It kind of took me by surprise, too, because, like, most of the League of Villains probably view Jiren as just, like, hired help almost.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that Twice considered him one of them, and I think even fans like forget about Jiran being a League of Villains member. It's more about the people that have the flashy quirks.
Yeah, I don't think they cared about the administration part of it.
Right. Yeah. But so that's kind of what elevates it for me a little bit, because he is somebody that would get looked down on or, ignored.
Yeah.
Is Jiran quirkless? Or do we just not know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think we know.
Oh no, muddiness. He grants him the ability to cause minor amnesia to his target by making contact with their head, causing their memories of the previous 5 minutes or next 5 minutes to become vague. Where the hell is that from?
I don't know, but that's a good quirk.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's from
for what he does.
It's from the character books, apparently, so that never appeared in the
Probably.
manga. But
Yeah,
I don't know, it's a neat factor.
Nice.
They are a good friendship. So my number 2 is it's not a long one. I put Ida, Izuku, and Todoroki and Ochako, and then in brackets Sue, because we don't see Sue with them all the time, and I really liked it when it was Ida, Izuku, and Ochako, but I felt like I couldn't leave Shoto out, because even though you don't see him interacting with the three of them very often, a lot of the time he's like following them around in the background.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time Sue will be with Ochako, but mostly I really just like Ida, Izuku, and Ochako. I like seeing like friendships that aren't, even though there's a bit of a romance between Izuku and Ochako, it's not established, and I like when there can be like boy girl friendships and it's not like complicated, and I don't know, it's nice. I like their meld of like personalities. It's very cute.
It's nice to kind of just have like normal friendship, and like Deku like helps out Ida with like the stain thing, and kind of like they kind of get to like trust each other and like really kind of have a firm basis for it, which I like.
Yeah, and even like it was nice when we saw the three of them when we did the read through of like when Izuku went to speak to Ochako and Ida was like, nope, don't do that, and then the three of them were together then, and their friendship has just gone forwards. I like seeing fan art of the three of them, I think, more than I like seeing fan art of anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not a huge amount to talk about there, so Kendra, on to you.
I picked, mine's maybe a bit more from Vigilantes, but I like Present Mike, Eraserhead, and Midnight's friendship, just because I think they have like a really good trust and kind of like really used to each other, and also like Midnight being their friend but being a little bit older. I kind of like that dynamic that she brings, because like Present Mike is kind of goofy, and then like Eraserhead is so like antisocial that he's kind of goofy, kind of serious, and then Midnight is also goofy serious, maybe a bit more on the goofy. So I think they all kind of like level each other out. So I like it, and I like the idea of they wanted to make a friend like a agency together, and I love that they all became pros. I think that's just like a really cool detail, and I think it was that Midnight and Present Mike got Eraser to be a teacher, so they were kind of like, no, we're dragging you back in. I don't know.
That was honestly my favorite part of Vigilantes, was that whole flashback.
But then there is the fourth missing person who cannot be in that friendship, Shirakumo. And he's one that, like, because we got a bit of him in Vigilantes, but I still want more. I want a better feel for him, so I hope we get a little bit about Shirakumo, just like as he is now, even. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like Shirakumo a lot, so. Oh, my poor little cloudy boy.
Mm-hmm. But I just like those three, because I think it's like, I don't know, they're all teachers at the same school. So
It's
I just
cute,
think it's
though,
funny.
because, like, yeah, I like it. They ended up together anyways.
They never left high school.
They never left their hometown. No,
Yeah. And also they
High
were
school
like,
never ends.
especially Present Mike and Eraserhead, they weren't people you'd expect to be teachers, even. Like, Present Mike seemed maybe a bit more like the class clown, and like, I think he was like a really good fighter, and like Eraserhead kind of was like, focusing on myself, like I gotta get good. Like, I don't know, just more like, and struggling with his like kind of more unique quirk. So I like it. I don't know. I like that they're teachers, teacher friends. Yay! I've talked a lot. Now, James, go.
Well, I would love to talk a lot, but my number 2 was your number 4.
Oh.
Yeah, I picked Aoyama and Deku.
Yay.
And mostly the same reasons. So, like, there's really not much I can add to that one.
I would say also, like, Aoyama was the one who came in when Deku kind of exploded with his quirk.
And, like, even before that, the very, like, chapter 4, I think, when we were talking about the first arc, he's like, we'll never see each other again. They became...
Oh, yes! The savageness of Aoyama, that we don't really see that often.
Yeah, and they became really good friends, so I thought that was kind of nice.
I wonder who would be more bitchy, Sero or Aoyama?
Oh.
Because Sero can be so catty.
I
would think Sero.
Sero is more subtle. Aoyama is not subtle. So it depends on how observant you are for it.
I don't think Sero is subtle.
Uh,
He's quite out there catty, but it's not like you look fat today, or be like stop being a downer, or like
Yeah.
oh he's what did he, or when they were trying to get Bakugo to play the drums, and he was like, yeah, I heard it's really difficult, so you can't do it, or something like that.
I think that's still a little bit like, it's obvious, but it's still like a little subtlety to it. But I think Aoyama would just be like, I think Aoyama is maybe a bit nicer about it. I don't know. Aoyama's hard to get a read on just because we haven't seen that much of him.
He's more like self-involved, so he's like,
yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, complimenting himself and like kind of alienating others is kind of like more his thing.
Alienating others.
Not that bad,
Let's
but
talk about me. But that's a little mean to him. So like that's the thing, is that like a lot of his like eating alone, like I've got to eat my fancy French dinner by myself, is like loneliness or like kind of putting up a front even.
He wants his cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheese is the glue that holds his friendship with Deku together.
And he's like, my actual secret is I'm lactose intolerant. Le gasp.
Oh yeah, that could be why he has tummy trouble.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. He's like, I love the taste of cheese, but I'm lactose intolerant.
Yeah, like he could use his power better if he didn't eat cheese.
But he cannot give it up. But
Cheese is good.
yeah, Gary, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Mirio and Amajiki.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it was hard, even just like in the second, to like pick them as number 2 or number 1, but they're really good. I especially like them when they're children. It's just so sweet that Mirio is like kind of doesn't care that Amajiki is a loner or what's the word? Introverted, and he's just like, hey, we want to be heroes. That's cool. You know, I don't know. They're really sweet.
What I kind of love is like Mirio came up with Sun Eater's like hero name, because like if I'm the sun, that makes you the Sun Eater. So kind of like that dynamic that he like what's his name again? Sun Eater? Amajiki like looks up to Mirio so much, so it easily could be a more of an uneven friendship. But the fact that Mirio is also inspired by Amajiki and like also thinks he's really, really cool evens it out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like Mirio feels that Amajiki is better than him, quirk-wise, and, you know, mainly quirk-wise. And he's kind of, like, right in that regard. But Amajiki doesn't see that. Especially, again, spoiler, since Mirio lost his power. Like, it felt like all along he knew that Amajiki was more suited to being a better hero than him. That's kind of like what I take away. That's not canon, obviously, but I don't know.
And just like that, Amajiki appreciates so much how much work Mirio had to do to make his quirk like usable for fighting.
Uh-huh.
Right. Yeah, and two, like they're kind of the most polar opposite of any friendship that I can think of anyway in the series, and that's like something in my life too. Like I appreciate friends that are kind of balance each other out. So yeah, that's about it.
Hmm. Sophie, what's your number one? Drum roll. Blah, 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 blah.
My number one is Gary's number two.
Oh.
That's why you're quiet on it.
Yeah. I
Undeserved.
love.
Joking.
What was that?
That was an undeserved drum roll, but I'm joking.
Oh, I thought you were going to make like a poo joke because I said number two and number one.
Things right now.
No, I really like them, and even when like Tamaki was like Sunita was really struggling, he thought like, no, Mirio could do it. Like, I need to help Mirio, and that was what spurred him on. They've been friendship for such a long time. I feel like their friendship is going to be the friendship of Eraserhead and President Mike in the future. That's going to be them, hopefully. They've got that same sort of dynamic, and it's just really sweet to see them interact.
I love that. I kind of like the idea of maybe them becoming teachers as well as pros. Just because I think that would be... Because, like, Amajiki could very much kind of be the Eraserhead of the group, except maybe not as harsh as Eraserhead is.
Yeah, and considering how much, like, Mirio struggled to hone his quirk, I think he would make a great teacher for people struggling with their quirks in future. But I like that, and I like how their like relationship dynamic seems to echo Izawa, and yeah, I really like them all at all levels. They're great friends. They're great like peers to have with each other. Their friendships lasted. They know they know each other's insecurities. They know their bad points. They know their good points. And instead of thinking like, oh no, like he's going to do really badly, they're like, oh, he'll struggle with this, but like he can do it. It's really, it's cute.
And I do appreciate for their friendship that they still are able to like do things separately. Like Amajiki didn't like, oh, I need to follow you to Sir's agency and I need to be with you all the time. I need to like, we're best friends, so we got to work together. I like it that they kind of like went to different agencies knowing like what works best for them. So like supporting each other as well, but as well as having a bit of like not being like codependent friendship or whatever.
Yeah. Who's your number two?
Oh,
number one.
My number one, I think, was your number three. So, but minus someone. So mine's Deku, Ida, and Todoroki. Just cause
Take that, Ochiko.
Just cause Ochiko like doesn't interact with them. Ochiko doesn't interact with Todoroki that much. That's why I didn't put her there.
Yeah.
Because I just think of during the like right before they did the raid on Overhaul when Deku like couldn't talk about it and he was really upset, that I liked that Ida and Todoroki kind of were just like, eat your food, like we know something's wrong and like you can't tell, like we're your friends, you should tell us. But then they let him cry, and like Todoroki saying like, I think heroes can cry, just like because Deku's helped them so much. I think it was really cool that they kind of got to return the favor a lot, which kind of like evened out their friendship.
Yeah. It was a nice moment. I'm really glad we've seen more of their friendship, like post Stain.
And
really
I just
nice.
like that, like, I don't know. I think Deku's really good friendship glue, and I think Ochiko is as well. So like, I kind of like I just want more Ochiko, and I want her more interacting with them. But I just really like that one scene. But I think otherwise I would put Ochiko in there as well. And that's all she wrote.
James.
That's your
Well,
cue.
my number one is nobody else's number three. No, I'm joking.
Oh.
I'm hoping unless Gary has the same thought, but I picked kind of a bro-y one, but I feel that it's more bro than Bakugo and Kirishima, and that is Kirishima and Tetsu Tetsu Tetsu.
Oh, yes, that's a good one.
How did no one else have it? How did we not have this on our list until now?
I had to think about it because I'm like, who's got a very... Because like everybody always talks about Bakugo and Kirishima and Kaminari, that whole group, and I'm like, no, there's Tetsu. They had a very broy fight. They had they both got accepted into the same agency with the fourth kind.
Mhm.
They have sort of the same ideals of wanting to be the hardest. So I don't know. I think their friendship is cool because they can basically just kind of like compete against each other towards the same goal. They have both improve. They both improve each other.
Yeah, I like that they can really inspire each other, especially after Tetsu. Okay, spoilers for anime only people. That he like realizes that he's basically heat resistant and like
Mhm.
ice resistant.
Yeah.
So like, and then that kind of Kirishima's like, if he can do that, then like, what can I do? So kind of like learning from each other.
Yeah. They're just
And they're
both
both
so awesome together. Yeah, I love
Yes.
them. That's why I was like, that's my number one.
Mhm.
They can sharpen each other.
Sharpen their skills.
I will be like so quickly. Very good.
Mhm.
Very good number one. I'm so surprised no one's mentioned them yet.
Yes, they're so good. And like, I think it's easily they could have been like mad at each other for being like, oh, we're the like. I think they did a little bit where it's like, wait, you're the same. But then they actually like use it to, like, I don't know. It's fun. They have like a rivalry of friendship, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Gary, I can't wait to hear your number one now.
Yes, let's hear it.
Well, okay. It's not that exciting because it's a repeat, but it is the Wild Wild Pussycats.
Yay!
They're my number one, and that's the reason that I was like, oh, they totally count. Because
Yeah, ulterior motives there.
yeah, because otherwise my whole list is like shot. But yeah, it was hard to like narrow it down to like who was number 1, 2, and 3 and so. But I like how positive they are, positive with each other. You can tell that they've had to have been friends for a long time, especially because their hero names are all breeds of cats. And so it's like when they chose their hero names, they must have, that couldn't have been a coincidence because their powers don't really have anything to do with cats. But if it was, then they were made for each other. And yeah, that's like the other thing too. I like cat theme. I'm a
Wait, you're
big
telling
cat
me your
lover.
cat doesn't telepathically talk to you? Is that just me?
No, but she's got like the playa body quirk where she can take whatever weird shape. Yeah, I don't know if there's too much to add there, but I think I like their. I know this is like kind of like a shallow reason, but I like their colors and their character design. I like the brightness, and that they are because we don't see any heroes that are really like themed together or even a team because teams are kind of like frowned upon. Like there'll be a team up, but for heroes to just be partners is a rare thing in that, and that is due to their friendship, obviously.
I guess I don't think it's frowned upon. I just think it's kind of rare.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I don't think they seem to encourage them all to work together. But I guess they
Right.
do have that kind of like hero system where you got to like request a backup person or like you can request certain people, like how we kind of
Right.
saw a bit of it for the overall arc. But I do like that they kind of like all chose to be together. They're just a bunch of
Right.
friends who
Yeah.
like they're like, let's be here, like we're heroes, let's do this.
Some heroes frown on it. Mirko frowns on it, didn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, true,
She's
you're
a
right.
big naysayer.
She says
That's
it's like
what-
weakness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, I guess you. So
Sorry,
from
go
like
ahead.
you probably make like less money being in a group than you do being like a solo act.
And two, with the hero billboard, it is like it's really competitive too. So people would want to stand out on their own as opposed to being a literal team like they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your number one may have been a repeat, Gary, but you made some really good points. Like I hadn't even thought about their hero names all being cats, so they must have known each other before. Like I'm sure they could have changed their hero names, but I mean it'd probably be a lot of effort and forms to fill
Yeah.
out and money to pay. Can people really be asked? No. Let's just say they were friends before that. That does make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Does anyone have? Oh, sorry. I was going to
I
ask
was
if
gonna
anyone has any honorable mentions.
Yes. I was just going to make that point. That's a Oh, Gary, we're on the
Sorry.
right. We're on the same wavelengths. No.
Great minds think like me again.
So, I just wanted to mention a few, and one of them is Najiri and Yu Yu. So, we don't see much of her. We only see her in like the school festival arc. She's the friend with the short hair that's like cheering Najiri on. And I know a lot of people try and ship them together. I think mostly because Yu Yu has short hair. And so that's why I thought, I don't know, short hair lesbian. Although that is a conclusion people come to a lot.
Yeah.
And she does make some sort of dovey-ish eyes at her. But I like their friendship, even the little of it that we see.
Mm.
Ochako and Sue, I feel like their friendship deserves its own time. And on the same level of Sue, Habuko Mongoose, who anime fans and
That's
some
what I was
manga
gonna
fans.
say.
Yeah,
As well.
like anime and like some manga fans won't know of her, but she's like this snake-faced girl with crazy hair, and we get a little bit of a backstory. And because of the way she looks like a snake, people didn't want to be friends with her, but Sue did, and she saw past it, and they were good friends. And now they go to different schools, but they're still in touch. And it was only like a paragraph or two, and I fell in love with Habuko Mongoose.
I was like, there's an OVA with Mongoose.
Oh.
It's so good. And then I had Twice and Everyone written down on the list. But I didn't want to put it down like in my list, because I feel like a lot of Twice's friendships are one-sided. Like even when we see him with Duran, like he's in real anguish that Duran is being held hostage and like tortured. But do we actually get any confirmation really if Duran has that same level of friendship back, or is it all just from Twice's side? So that's why I personally didn't put it on my list. But
I would say I didn't really have runner-ups, but as you're talking, I just thought Twice and Hawks, just because like it was just like a nice little like budding friendship, but it was just like under false pretenses, but it was also a little bit genuine because like Hawks did like Twice, like he thought he was a good person in a bad situation, but then like Twice just gets so mad. Like, all right, I won't get into like we already talked about that a lot, but I just kind of like that there was a little bit of like a fledgling friendship, and I liked that. I thought that was cute, but also sad.
And Hawks was basically be like, come on, just give up. I don't want to hurt you or nothing like that. He just wanted him to give up easily so he wouldn't have to like kill them. So he was considerate of Twice, even though he was evil.
What other honorable mentions do you guys have?
I have one that Kendo and Monoma. No, I'm surprised nobody picked them, but
As a friendship,
I don't know if they really would.
I don't think she's his friend. She's his handler.
There's got to be some friendship in there. That's kind of why I didn't really pick it either. And then like I thought about Momo and Yosetsu, but they've only had a very small interaction. It was kind of hard coming up with like friendships that we haven't really seen and really Kirishima.
Who's Yosetsu?
Weldy.
Oh, I see again.
Oh.
Shame.
Say Weldy, but I always like calling him Yosetsu.
Yeah, that's good. I should learn his name.
Yororozu Yoyetsu. That's a tongue tire there.
Yep.
I think that has like really good like fire forged friendship of kind of like in the moment. Okay, what do we do? And just like I love that. I think that's a good friendship.
There's a couple that I'm surprised nobody said because I was expecting them to be number one. Jiro and Momo.
Yes.
And Jiro and Denki.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And,
that might be more romantic though. That's my only thing.
Yeah, it's like getting there, like not canonically, but like
It almost
I was
is
gonna say a
canonical.
couple of chapters ago.
I know that's what I'm saying. It's getting there,
Yeah, it's arguable for a lot of the students.
right? And
But
then
especially Jiro, especially when he was like there's like who are you? Fatcom's like, who are you doing this for? And he like thinks of Jiro.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you could take that a romantic way or a friendship way. But Gary, carry on with your reasoning.
well, I had one more. Mina and Ochako. I like them because Mina is very like, ooh, you like somebody, don't you? That's love in your eye, I like that. But I also don't like the pressure side of it, But yeah, I think they're pretty cute when they do interact.
I think like Mina just wants to be a normal high school girl as well.
Right.
Just cute. But also like, or maybe she's kind of like trying to fit into that box, maybe a little bit. I don't know. But do we want to talk about the ones that fans sent in? Unless we have any other runner-ups we want to talk about?
No, let's talk about the ones Fran sent in.
Yay. We got one from Sandra at Sandy Psych. So she said, this is on the fly, but Ayazawa and Present Mike, woot woot. Sue and Habuko, so like Frog and a Mongoose. Momo and Jiro. We didn't really talk about that one as much. I think like it is kind of a good, like kind of encouraging each other, because like they're both kind of shy-ish. Depending, but I think it's good to kind of like bring that out. Izuku and Aoyama. Yay. All My David Shield, I think, is cute. And it's also another one of kind of like a friendship that went a little sour. Just because, like they neither of them thought it was, but David Shield, spoilers for the movie. Wait, Sophie, have you seen the movie yet?
Yeah.
Okay, good. For some reason, I thought you hadn't.
How dare you? I'm basing Dungeons and Dragons, our game, on my island.
Spoilers, yes. But, and like him kind of like worrying about All Might. So I kind of like that too, where it's like a bit of like a tragic friendship angle. I cannot speak human words. And Liam Tasker at Liam and Tasker said, me and Ida. I think that's a good friendship.
That's a good one.
I too want to be friends with Ida. They both have glasses. They can talk about that. And then we had at Skets Uballer said, I really like Uraraka and Suyu as friends. I thought it was really cute how Asui offered her hand to Uraraka when they were attacked at the camp. I also don't really mind them as a ship either. I think they're very cute and like, I like it. I'm trying to think of like how I can word this, but also like when Sue was like crying because she was worried that they would like weren't friends and kind of like, or like that they would be mad at her, and like Ochiko kind of like comforting her a little bit. So like, I don't know, I think because they're both pretty sociable people, so I think like combine that together, they get along really well.
Yeah, I think there might be one person who retweeted it with their answer at the top, but it's really hard to find the retweets as opposed to the comments.
Because I found it. At Pogeyman666 said Jin and Toga, which I think, or that was their first one. I really like that just because, like, I'm surprised we didn't really have that on the list. Oh, wait, did we?
Well, I guess Jin kind of thinks of her semi-romantic.
Yeah, it's like,
Sophie had...
on. I had twice in everyone.
Yeah.
As an honourable mention.
Like their friendship's a little bit of a weird friendship because they're both weird people, but it's still a friendship, and kind of maybe a little bit of it is like quasi-romance on Jin's part, but I don't think it is on Toga's. So I think it's kind of, yeah.
Gary, did you start to say something about that?
Oh, I was just going to say, you did mention twice Toga and Big Sis May.
Oh, Magne,
yeah.
I did, that's true.
Yeah.
That's all.
And their number 2, Mirio and Tamaki. It's a good one. I think, like, their dynamic's really nice. Bakugo and Kirishima. What? I'm just glad they agreed with me. Sorry. Ayazawa and Present Mike. Another good one. Oh yeah, I think Minus Midnight. I think it's really good just because they're like how different they are, but as well as like how they both respect each other a lot. And Deku and Aoyama. Yay! I think it's like a nice it's a friendship that Horikoshi could have pretty easily not have done, but he went out of his way to make the friends. Like I feel like Ida and Ochiko and Deku, they were like kind of almost default friends since they all get along so well. Well, not that that's any less than the other ones, but I think like Deku and Aoyama are like a really kind of quirky, weird friendship. And then they said HM, which I don't know what that means.
Honorable mention.
Oh, I'm dumb. Mineta and Kaminari. Yes, they're the two like teenage boyiest of the lot. So it's
that's
nice
a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they also really are like just their friends. They're just like be idiots together. But as well as like Mineta's smarter than Kaminari, so I wish we kind of got that a little bit.
That's a good one, and it seems to be like Mineta's only genuine friendship as well, so it's probably like really important to him.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, when everyone talks about Kaminari as the traitor, if Kaminari is the traitor, I feel like Mineta might be more hurt than anyone else.
Oh, I think you're right.
Well, I think Jiro would be pretty.
Jiro. I think
torn up.
I think like you might get the really heartfelt Jiro reaction and then cut to Mineta and he's like furious upset, like goofy upset.
Oh, see,
And,
I
like,
think they would
yeah.
be swapped. I think Jiro would be like, oh, that idiot. I always knew there was something off about him. And Mineta would be like, what? My pervert buddy? No! Like he overreacted to not being able to play the guitar and went in like an upset huff.
Oh, that does remind
Imagine-
me. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just imagine like the really dramatic tears coming from Mineta. You know, that's what I imagine.
Yeah. And I guess an honorable mention as well would be Mineta and Deku, which is kind of just started to see more of it. It's kind of his new joke, or he thinks he's really good friends with Deku when he isn't. So that might be interesting to see. So, like, I kind of like the idea of kind of like Deku kind of expanding. Because I like they're all in the same class and they all, like, get along with each other, but that some of them do have deeper friendships. But none of them are really, like, strangers to each other. I don't know. All of Class 1A. Heart emoji. Friends.
Cool. So I think that's the end of the episode, no?
All Might's best friend.
Oh yeah.
I think I got it right. Tsukochi. I like that just because I think it's nice to have someone who's friends with All Might as just, oh my god, what's his actual name?
Oh shoot, I don't remember.
Yam something.
That's all these.
No, All Might's real name.
Toshinori.
Toshinori.
Toshinori, that he's like just he's like someone who just sees him as Toshinori. I guess also blah blah blah. I almost called it Quentin Tarantino. Oh my god. Old man jump around.
Gran Torino.
Gran Torino.
That Gran Torino also does, but that's more of like his mentorship. So I think their friendship is cute. Yay! And now that's the end of the episode. I don't know why I did that voice. Sophie, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Chopper's Antlers.
You can follow me on Twitter at Sniper of My Heart. And I have another podcast about Haikyuu at Haikyuu Pod. James, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, no surprise there, at That One Welder Guy. I have two podcasts. The Kicking Stones podcast, or Dr. Stone Read Through podcast, and that's at Dr. Stone Pod. And the Weeb Jammin' podcast, where hopefully we can record our Fully Cooley episode soon. And you can find that at Jammin' Weeb on Twitter.
Yay. Gary, where can we find you?
You can find me at Wrath of Giraffes on Twitter.
Yay. You can follow the podcast at MHA Pod, and we're starting to post little clips of the episode, little funny bits, so check that out. You can email us at myheropod@gmail.com, and we do have a website. Check it out for easiness of finding the episodes. If you don't, just subscribe. www.mhapod. And in these trying times, find your friend, grab their hand, and yell, "Go beyond!"
No, don't grab their friend. Don't grab their hand unless you live with them. Social distance.
Oh, true.
Stand 6 feet apart and go
I was thinking of Sophie Nochko. Zoom your friend, look them in their electronic eyes, and tell them to go beyond.
Plus Ultra.
Yay!
One day we'll get that all together.
This is my hero academia. This is manga news and more. Plus Ultra. Ooh, they're my hero academia.